Welcome back, everyone, to Aramaic in the New Testament, part 5. This is the verse from Matthew chapter 5, where we see the word Raqa. Matthew 5:22 reads, "But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raqa, shall be in danger of the council. But whoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire." What the heck does Raca mean? Well, the meaning in Aramaic comes from the root resh yod qaf, meaning to pour out or to make something empty. Someone who's riqo or raqa is someone who's empty, thus empty-headed or brainless. It's basically a comment on someone's intellect, maybe their decision-making, the same way we might use a similar term today when describing someone who's made a bad decision whom we're displeased with. Now, going back to the Syriac New Testament, just for some insights, we can get a couple interesting things out of that. Enodeno marno lchon, the chulman, the nergaz al ahu, iqim hayabu ladino, وخذني مار له رقة محيبو لخنوشتو ومنثني مار lelo. And I'll translate that as, now I say to you that whoever is angry with his brother in vain is accountable to justice, and whoever would say to his brother brainless is accountable to the council, but whoever would say idiot is accountable to the Gehenna of fire or fiery hell. You know, reading this stuff in the Aramaic, reading the New Testament in the Syriac Aramaic just makes me want to open up a whole new series of studies looking at the uniqueness of the text in this language, or at least in this tradition, and all the insights that come from it. Now, the first word I highlighted in blue is actually a Greek word, so it's kind of interesting. You know, we're examining all these Aramaic words that popped up in the Greek New Testament, and thus, you know, what we get from our translations of the Greek text. But sometimes in the Syriac New Testament, you're going to have Greek words that are written in Aramaic characters, or they're written in Syriac characters. That shouldn't be too surprising, because for more than 300 years, really since the time of Alexander the Great, Greeks had been in the Middle East in places that were Aramaic speaking regions. And so a number of Greek words no doubt entered the lexicon at that time. Now we see here a gradual progression between someone who's angry with his brother, another who calls his brother Raqa or brainless, and then someone who would say instead lelo or idiot. And I think I chose the word idiot because we use it as an insult today, but originally it didn't have that meaning. It didn't have that connotation. It was a diagnosis for a mental condition. Someone who stammers or can't articulate speech well, maybe has an impediment. The idea of kind of making a little sound is where the word comes from. In fact, if you ever seen the movie UHF back in 1989, it was a Weird Al Yankovic movie. There's a scene during the telethon where the Kipper kids are there for a second and a half, just making that sound while holding onto umbrellas. It's very bizarre, but that's kind of what I think of. And that's, you know, that has its roots in the New Testament, believe it or not. So there's a gradual progression from being angry with someone to vocalizing contempt about someone, calling them brainless, to actually making an assault on the person as that person may be created in the image and likeness of God by calling this person an idiot. You know, the translations typically say fool or foolish or something like that, but it's not always intentional foolishness. It may be the result of an actual condition where someone is created differently. So the last thing we could say about that verse is, you know, the way it's constructed. It says the hell of fire. And really, it says the Gehenna of fire. And if you know anything about Gehenna, you know originally that's a Hebrew word meaning the valley of Hinnom, where they used to burn trash. So it's the idea of burning away trash. You know, you're going to basically go down to the graves, which were in this valley, and be burned away in that sense. There's an additional note we get from St. John Chrysostom, who comments that Raca is a word signifying contempt and worthlessness, from where we, in speaking to servants or children, say, go thou, or tell thou him. In Syria, they would say Raqa for thou, for the Lord descends to the smallest trifles, even of our behavior, and bids us treat one another with mutual respect. And it were an unworthy reproach to call him who has in him the Holy Spirit, to call him empty. So there you have it. There's some context for the Aramaic word Raqa in the New Testament. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and continue moving these videos around. It affects the algorithm and helps get them known. If you're interested in learning Aramaic, go ahead and post so in the comments, and I can let you know about some resources, whether they're books or classes or etc. I'll keep making videos like this, and hopefully it's as enjoyable for you as it is for me. So until next time, Pushum Bashlama. Pushum Bashlama.